What's your favorite animating software to use?
Well, um, Soft Image I was a big fan of. Uh, then they did XSI, only because I started with Well, like I said before, 3D Studio Release 4, shit when it comes to animation. Power Animator, shit when it comes to animation. And these are the early days. I'm talking about 98, 96, 97. Then Soft Image, shit in other areas, but when it comes to animation and rigging, that was my favorite. Um, by the time XSI came out, I was already Maya became a bigger thing, and here actually we write our own proprietary software. I'm actually wearing this shirt. It's backwards for you, probably. I don't know if it is, but anyway, Voodoo.
Yeah.
So we have our own proprietary software, which shits over everything that I've ever used when it comes to animation. But it's just an internal thing that can't go out to the world. But it's my favourite for sure, and has been for a long time. But I used to be a Maya person, a Maya master. I did everything. When I came to America, I had to specialize, and I chose animation as my specialization. But I used to do everything, rigging, animation, everything. When I was in Australia, because you had to be more of a generalist. But so Voodoo,
Yeah.
in answer to your question, is it. I hope you got that all in there.
Um, Favorite thing about being an animator?
My favorite thing about being an animator
Is it all the
is just
chicks?
definitely doesn't give you checks, but my favorite thing is actually is when I'm not animating and I'm home or I live in Hermosa Beach.
Hmm.
I'm like right in that area, and my favorite thing is I like the fact that when I'm just sitting out the front of my building and looking at the beach and I see a bird. I know it's going to sound cheesy and shit, but when you just see something, the way it lands and the way it moves, and or when you see someone just jog past, and my mind instantly goes to, oh, I see the weight, oh, the heavier. I'm evaluating lots of things as an animator, and I love doing that. And it's I always knew I was going to be doing creative, or I'd like to, and I'm doing it. Like it doesn't feel like a job so much, and it's just so fascinating to me. That is the best part. And then, like I said, I just look at simple things like a seagull landing on a wall, and I just go, "Oh, he was a little heavy. Oh, he's got a little. Um, his left leg is a little injured, or he moved differently." And I don't know why I was built. I feel like I was built to animate, um, and that's my favorite thing. I really just I like to evaluate motion and the way things move, and that for some reason, weird reason, that's something that I just really enjoy, just like drawing or just anything. Yes, creatively, creatively, I like that. So that's the best part. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so do you ever like do any animations on your off time when you're not working?
I always thought I was going to do this. I had short story ideas,
Hmm.
and and I kicked myself, but at the same time, I don't because I just don't want to. Because I hear a lot of animators or people in the industry can get burnt out over. They say the 10-year deal, right? So after 10 years, you're burnt out. When I go home, my rule is I don't think about work and I live my life outside of that. But I actually do feel a little guilty that with what I know, I should, but I do not.
Hmm.
But I do music. I mean, I do other stuff. I create and I edit. I do a lot of editing. I do a lot of other stuff, but I don't do it because I'm all burnt out at work. They suck out all the animation juice. So when I get home, I just want to do something else. I guess is what I'm saying. But I feel a little guilty about that. I should probably do stuff, but I'm I, that's where I stand.
Yeah, I get that. Um,
Yeah,
this where did you go to college?
I went to in Australia. I went to a community college actually because there was nothing in university that had creative stuff. That I actually did go to university for a bit and did graphic design, but I went in Australia. Where was it? Jesus, it was in Queensland. Anyway, what was the name of it? Fuck, it changed its name. But I went to, it's not probably important. I went to a community college to do, and that was the first time that animation was a thing. And I did a first year on that. And like I said before, teachers didn't know anything, and they had no textbooks. They just, and I'm pretty sure they ripped off all the software. Like it wasn't bought, it was all just ripped off, and they just sold this thing as a course.
We have like
But
a
again, it's only like $600 for the year, so come on. But
yeah.
I, but the thing is though, I, I skipped every other class that I thought was redundant,
Uh-huh.
and I just focused on the lab, and I just went into the lab and just animated and created a show reel, and that's what I focused on, knowing that that was the important thing, and that worked. When I got my traineeship, they the boss liked my show reel, but I failed in every other subject at this college because I skipped it and I didn't go. But I just stayed in the lab and concentrated on that, knowing well, I thought that that was an important thing to do. So it was. I can email you the particulars on the exactly what it's the place now. It's
It's
been a long
fine.
time.
Um, God, that's like all of my questions. Other than like, do you have any tips for animating, other than like making a show reel, but for like getting like a job or starting a career as an animator?
My biggest tip would be it's not so much a tip, but if you're a passionate person about the art of that form of artwork and or doing it, that'll get you pretty much most of the way there. But when you do a show reel, which makes when you're trying to break in, do something different. Because I get a lot of show reels and I see the same shit. I see the same characters and people are using, oh, it's Robert De Niro talking at a desk and saying something, and then your actor got the same character that everyone else I've seen uses and animates that. A lot of animators do cartoony stuff and they talk. My advice is there's a lot of work out there, which is my personal preference. I do a lot of creature stuff, and that's what I see lacking in animation. A lot of people are all thinking about Pixar and Disney, which is fine, but there's also a big world out there that I've only been doing for a long time, which is mechanics, physical movements. I worked on Life of Pi with Ang Lee,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
getting the tiger down, things like that, and using reference mechanics and getting the. I would have to say right now in the industry, I would say 80% of people who animate aren't proficient in mechanical movement of weight, a tiger, dinosaur, a creature, a woolly mammoth, whatever it might be. People don't focus on that, and they're all focusing more, which is fine, on cartoony, you know,
Yeah.
shit. And that's what something is hard to come by, is mechanics of movement. When I was a supervisor at Rhythm and Hughes, real quick story.